Leadership doesn't just happen between our ears, it's actually a full body experience. My name is Jamie Shapiro. I'm a leadership coach and a nutritionist, and I specialize in connecting the worlds of health and wellness with leadership. I grew up in corporate America. I grew up as a leader, and so when I approach my talks, I'm thinking about how am I going to be able to give information and an experience that impacts my audience, and how are they going to be able to walk away and really apply what we're talking about today. Everything from nutrition to how we breathe to how we hold our bodies impacts how we lead each and every day. And if we want to be really connected leaders, it starts with us. It starts with having the energy and agility to actually meet the demands of our job. And then we can have those wonderful connections. And then we can get to that visionary, inspirational leadership. My speaking style is incredibly interactive. I love connecting with my audiences. That's the most important thing for me on stage. Yes, I love it. Thank you.
Jamie Shapiro is just a ball of energy. She is able to distill sort of this complex topic of helping our whole selves in a way that we can all leave with some immediate tools to apply in our own lives.
Think of me as a tour guide, right? I'm going to take you through some things around nutrition. I'm going to take you through some things around embodied leadership. But the truth is that you are the expert.
We've got to stop focusing on what was between our ears, because I had great executive coaches during this time in my life, but it was always focused on my communication and what's going on with my team and what's my strategy. And nobody was asking me questions like, what are you putting in your body every day? I love audiences that are full of leaders. And leadership to me doesn't mean that you're managing people. Leadership to me means that you're owning your ability to inspire others to be at their best. So I'm going to teach you the simplest way, other than moving your head, to work on your posture, and that is the breath. So I'd like you to put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly and take a breath. And what hand moved for you? Top? A lot of us are chest breathers, so for anybody who felt the chest breath, I want you now to try and move this bottom hand. Go ahead and take a breath. And I'm going to tell you what's happening when we move that bottom hand.
When you utilize this breath, when you actually start sending the breath into your stomach instead of your chest, what you're doing is you're letting your body know you're safe, and that lets your brain know that and actually gets you into the right side of your nervous system so you can think clearer. So when people tell me, I don't have time for this, Jamie, I ask them, do you breathe?
I think what Jamie is doing that is very innovative is really integrating the broader picture of health into what the whole self is. You know, touching on nutrition and sleep and amount of water, and these are aspects that are often not part of the conversation and yet incredibly influential in how we're showing up as leaders.
We're completely changing something we do over and over again to a new rhythm.
Since we're going to talk about the body, everybody stand up. And I want you all to raise your hands in the air and look up. And now I want you all to think about all your problems. Think about your problems, please. For the longest time, we thought that our mind told our body what to do, and that's how it worked. And what we've learned through social science is that's just not 100% true. Our body tells our mind what to do so much of the time, from the neurotransmitters that are fired, from the hormones that we're experiencing in our body. So what we just did, that funny exercise, you got your body in a position that was strong and grateful. And so when you had to try and think about your problems, your body said, I'm just gonna giggle because I don't know what she's saying. Why is she telling us to think about our problems? There was a disconnect.
What happens when we hold our bodies differently? What happens in our brain and how we feel more energized, how we feel more connected to others, how we perceive ourselves differently. I'm going to take you through a visualization. In these next 5 minutes, I want you to unlock your imagination. Give it the freedom to go wherever it wants to go, to imagine anything that comes up for you, and just be present in this moment. If information was all we needed, and motivation was all we needed, we would all be taking care of ourselves and be at our peak performance of leadership, because there's enough information out there and motivation for us all to take an advantage of. But that's just not simply enough. So my talks are designed to help people connect to their place of resonant change and really understand their personal vision. And I provide the framework to be able to do that and connect so that all the information I give actually lands. Come on up. One of the hardest parts about tapping into our own wisdom is that we have a lot of people trying to make us not tap into it, right? We have a lot of people that are giving us the answers and selling us food products that are healthy. So if you could just look at the front of that bottle, what does it say?
Naturally helps better absorb vitamins A and E.
Ooh, healthy, right? No. So here's the exercise we're gonna do. If you could just read the ingredients on the back, and everybody raise your hand for as long as you know what the ingredient is.
Balsamic vinegar, soybean oil and extra virgin olive oil, sugar, salt, spices, caramel color, xanthan gum, sodium benzoate and sorbic acid, calcium disodium EDTA, citric acid, natural flavor, sulfur dioxide.
Okay, we're good. Everybody's hand is down. Thank you so much. Why are we eating things that we don't even understand? So I have a rule for my clients. If you don't know what it is, use your smartphone and look it up, right? Because we have access to information. If you feel comfortable with what it is and you want to put it in your body, go ahead. But you can't get wise about your body if you're eating food-like substances and chemicals and things that actually aren't food, like coal and wood, and yes, those things are in our food system. If we want to get wise, if we want to really fuel our body, we've got to start shifting the lens and recognizing that we are wise. We just have to turn the package around. So that's one of the pieces I want to leave for you in nutrition. And yes, if you've never read ingredients, you're going to go to the grocery store, you're going to have a little bit of hatred for me, because you're going to go and start reading ingredients and be like, damn, this is taking forever. But you know what? If it's taking too long, you're in the wrong aisles, okay? So stop swearing at me and get out of that aisle and go start shopping the real food.
Vision is what motivates us. It's not the scale. I don't know about you, I don't have a great relationship with my scale, and it's not telling me what to eat every day. But that vision for who I am as a human being at my best self, that drives my decisions around my health and when I get energy back in.
If you think of our brain and the thoughts, it's kind of like water, right? We're always on the surface. And it's not until we actually still the water that we can get to that deeper level of thinking. So that's the metaphor. Let me show you what's actually happening in the brain. So we have different centers of the brain, and you can think of the prefrontal cortex as that deep water thinking part of our brain. And the amygdala is the jumpy, and the amygdala is also the part of us that sends us into fight, flight, or flee. And we are still kind of in caveman times physiologically. So when we get stressed out, we still think a tiger is at our cave ready to eat us. Unfortunately, when your boss comes over and talks to you, that's actually an amygdala hijack too, and it shows up the same exact way. And what happens is our body tells us first. It tells us first that we're in amygdala hijack way before our thoughts start going. And when you don't recognize what amygdala hijack is and how to prevent it, then we oftentimes have those situations where we go home and we're like, oh, I wish I would have handled that situation differently. Meditation is that practice to get your mind strong so that you have the ability to tap into that energy at the most stressful, hardest times. It's not just about the stress relief. It's about becoming more present in yourself and in your emotions and who you are each and every day and how you can connect with others and how you can connect on a bigger perspective as well. My talks are there to inspire you to take that next step and ultimately be able to integrate it into your life, both professionally and personally.